You know that moment when you are deep in thought, lost in the spiral of your own mind, and suddenly you feel it, a presence. You look down, and there they are, your dog, sitting quietly beside you, eyes fixed on your face with that steady, unwavering gaze. You did not call them, you did not move, yet somehow, they knew. They checked in. And in that silent exchange, something passes between you that words could never capture. This is not random. This is not just canine instinct playing out in some mechanical, evolutionary loop. What you are witnessing is one of the most profound forms of interspecies communication that exists on this planet. Your dog is reading you, not your words, not your actions, but the invisible architecture of your emotional state, the subtle shifts in your energy that even you might not be aware of yet. Let me take you into the why. Let me show you what is happening beneath the surface of that gentle check-in. Because understanding this will change how you see your relationship with the creature who has chosen to orbit your existence. Dogs are emotional cartographers. They map the terrain of your inner world with a precision that would make most therapists envious. While you are busy pretending everything is fine, while you are holding it together for the world outside, your dog is reading the micro-expressions on your face, the tension in your shoulders, the rhythm of your breathing. They are detecting cortisol levels in your sweat, picking up on the electromagnetic shifts in your heart rate. Science calls this olfactory communication and behavioral synchronization. I call it what it is: pure, unadulterated attunement. When your dog checks in on you, they are performing an ancient ritual that predates human civilization itself. Thousands of years ago, when wolves first began their slow dance toward domestication, they learned that survival meant understanding the emotional climate of their pack. They learned to read the alpha, to sense danger before it arrived, to know when the hunt was successful or when fear was creeping in. That genetic memory lives in your dog now, refined and sharpened through generations of living alongside humans. You are their pack, and checking in is how they ensure the pack remains whole. But here is where it gets deeper. Here is where the psychology becomes almost mystical. Dogs possess what researchers call theory of mind, the ability to understand that you have a mental state separate from their own. When your dog looks at you, they are not just seeing a food dispenser or a door opener. They are perceiving an emotional being with needs, fears, joys, and sorrows. They are asking, without language, "Are you okay? Do you need me?" This is Jungian synchronicity playing out in real time. Carl Jung spoke of meaningful coincidences, moments when the inner psychological state aligns with external events in ways that feel too purposeful to be random. Your dog arriving at your side exactly when the weight of the day becomes too much to carry alone, that is synchronicity. That is the universe speaking through fur and wet noses, reminding you that you are not as alone as you feel. And if you are someone who lives in the margins, if you are one of those souls who experiences the world at a different frequency than most, this relationship takes on even greater significance. You, the one who feels too much, who thinks too deeply, who carries the exhaustion of constant observation, you have found in your dog what you struggle to find in most humans: unconditional presence. No judgment, no expectation that you perform normalcy or mask the complexity of your inner experience. Your dog checks in because they sense the dissonance. They feel it when you are operating in survival mode, when the gap between who you are and who you pretend to be grows too wide. Dabrowski called this disintegration, the painful process of outgrowing old structures of self. Your dog does not need you to explain it. They simply sit with you in it. They become the anchor when everything else feels untethered. There is also something primal happening here, something that touches on attachment theory. John Bowlby taught us that secure attachment is formed through consistent, responsive caregiving. Your dog checks in on you because you have become their secure base, but the beautiful paradox is that they are simultaneously becoming yours. In that mutual checking in, you are both caregiver and cared for. You are both the observer and the observed. Consider the loneliness that so many carry like a second skin, the kind that exists even in crowded rooms, the silence that persists through noise. Your dog shatters that loneliness not by filling the void with distraction, but by witnessing it alongside you. When they check in, they are saying, "I see your solitude, and I am choosing to enter it with you." This is not pity, this is solidarity. And here is the shadow side, the part that people do not talk about enough. Sometimes your dog checks in because they sense something you are not ready to acknowledge. Depression has a smell. Anxiety has a frequency. Grief leaves traces in the air around you. Your dog is the lookout on the Titanic, and they are trying to warn you before the water rises too high. They are your early warning system, your built-in therapist who works without appointments or copays. But we must also acknowledge what this relationship reveals about you. If you are someone whose dog checks in constantly, you are likely someone who operates in a state of hype. You read rooms, you anticipate needs. You carry burdens that are not yours to carry because you possess that rare and exhausting gift of hyperintuitive pattern recognition. Your dog learned this behavior from somewhere. They learned it from watching you check in on everyone else. They are mirroring back to you the very care you so freely give but rarely receive. This is the caretaker archetype manifesting in its purest form. You heal. You hold space, you absorb the emotional overflow of those around you, and your dog, in their infinite wisdom, has decided that someone needs to do that for you. So they do. Every single day, multiple times, without fanfare or recognition, just presence. Just that quiet check-in that says, I am here, and you matter. The modern world has become a wasteland of surface-level interactions. Swipe right, scroll past, keep moving. Depth has been sacrificed on the altar of efficiency, but your dog exists outside of that economy. They trade only in authenticity. They deal exclusively in the currency of genuine connection. When they check in, they are rebelling against the shallow culture that surrounds you. They are proof that something real still exists. So what do you do with this understanding? How do you honor the profound gift your dog offers every time they pad across the room to simply be near you? You receive it, you let it land. You stop dismissing it as mere animal behavior and recognize it for what it is, love in its most distilled form. You learn from it. You take that checking in energy and turn it inward. You practice checking in on yourself with the same gentle persistence your dog offers you. You build your internal fortress not through isolation, but through self-awareness, through recognizing when your own emotional weather is shifting. And perhaps most importantly, you accept that this relationship is teaching you something vital about being human. That presence matters more than perfection. That being seen matters more than being understood. That sometimes, the deepest wisdom comes not from philosophy books or therapy sessions, but from a creature who asks nothing of you except that you allow them to love you. Your dog checks in on you because you are worth checking in on, not because of what you do or accomplish or achieve, simply because you exist. And in a world that constantly demands you prove your value, that silent message is nothing short of revolutionary.